Hello, dear viewer, and welcome back to Kirk in the Morning. As I mentioned earlier on, today we are looking at maternal mental health, and we are already with the expert in the studio, and in a few we'll just be understanding what exactly maternal mental health is, even as we try to bring out a solution as far as this particular topic is concerned. As mentioned, we are also coming to you, that's on Facebook as well as YouTube, that's Kirk TV Kenya. And my guest in studio today is a mental health therapist, that is Grace Mwiga. Grace, karibu sana.
Thank you, Aida.
Thank you so much for your time, and we look forward to learning as far as mental health generally is concerned, even as we narrow down to maternal mental health.
Amazing.
All right.
Looking forward.
Okay. Now, let me just give you an opportunity to introduce yourself fully, even as you talk about the organization that you run as far as mental health is concerned.
All right. Thank you, Aida. My name is Grace Mwiga. I am a mental health therapist, and I am also a born-again Christian. I am actively involved in ministry, and basically what we do is create awareness on mental health matters. We train, we coach, and that's we're talking about corporates, we're talking about learning institutions, and even churches, any other organization that might need our assistance. So what we do, we incorporate the word, like the Bible, in our teachings, because we believe that we cannot separate the two. And we'll be looking at maternal mental health, which has become quite a serious issue, in the rise. And our work is just to create that awareness and help people to sail through this journey. Yes.
All right. Now, before we look at maternal mental health, let us first of all understand mental health. I mean, everyone is talking about mental health. It's a topic that has come to the light recently. Let me just say almost everyone is now talking over mental health, but they could be defining it differently. What exactly would you say mental health is?
Okay, basically mental health, and even before I define what mental health is, what I want to put out across is that everyone who is alive, we are all potential victims of mental issues. So mental health is basically having that stable state, mentally, emotionally, physically, psychologically, where you can be able to relate to people in a normal way and your surrounding. So just being mentally stable, being well, that you can operate well. And sometimes we find someone would say, I've been stressed for the last, I don't know, 1 month. I've been going through some serious kind of stress. And when you look at it, when you dig deep, it's basically not even stress. This person was going through a mental issue and they were not aware. So that is why we come in, just to let you know that whenever you see certain telltale signs, then it means you need to seek help. Yes.
All right, so as we define mental health, of course, let me say stress can be a trigger, but in day-to-day life, of course, stress is let me say, a normal thing. But as you put it, it depends with the period of time that you've had this particular stress.
Exactly. So for it, being stressed is a common occurrence. I mean, there are days you wake up and you're feeling, I'm not my normal self. It is very normal because that is how we are wired as human beings. But now, if this thing is consistent for, let's say, about 10 to 14 days consecutively, every day you're waking up and you have this same mood, then that is not stress. That is, you're slowly slipping into mostly depression, anxiety, and many other mental issues that there are. So that is the point where you actually need to seek assistance. Before you seek assistance, there are some things we normally train people to do. There are some activities that we will tell you to do. Be active, go for swimming, work out, do something that you like. If these are not helping, then that's when now therapy comes in. So therapy is basically meant to diagnose the issue. So in therapy, we are just seeing where is the issue, how far has it gone? Then if it is beyond therapy, then we move you to the next stage, which is now to either a psychologist or a psychiatrist, depending on the intensity of the problem. But basically, being stressed is okay. Yeah, waking up one day and feeling down and the following day you're okay, that is normal. It should not, it's not a cause of alarm. Yeah.
All right. Now, of course, we'll get to understand the telltale signs, as you put it. But right now, let us look at maternal mental health. When we are talking of maternal mental health, what exactly do we mean? And maybe before you give us the definition of maternal mental health, I'll just give us statistics that is according to the World Health Organization as far as the worldwide statistics are concerned. And the World Health Organization says that worldwide, about 10% of pregnant women and 13% of women who have just given birth experience a mental disorder, primarily depression. Well, in developed countries, that is according to World Health Organization, this is even higher. That is 15.6% during pregnancy and 19.8% after birth. These are quite alarming statistics, and they are just not numbers. When we are talking about 10%, 13%, 15.6 and 19.8% consecutively, that is as far as pregnancy and after birth is concerned. These are people we are talking about. These are moms we are talking about. So let us now just understand what is maternal mental health.
Okay, maternal mental health is basically being in the right state of mind when you're either pregnant or after childbirth, or even when you have children and you're raising them. And it is good we are discussing this after we celebrated Mother's Day yesterday. So happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. You're doing an amazing job. What I can just put it across is being pregnant is basically, it's not a walk in the park. It's a difficult journey. And so because of obvious reasons, there's so many changes that happen in your body, including hormones, of course, your body changes, you know. And you find some of these things actually eat up someone, I remember there's a lady who was telling us that when immediately she started, she realized that she could not fit into her clothes. That's when she started going down. She was like, how will I get back? Yeah. Because we all want to look beautiful. We all want, you know, to feel good. It's also part of a healthy mental state. So you find that all these changes affect now how you start looking at yourself. You start feeling, I used to be a certain size, now I'm a different size. Or you start feeling, I used to, if I want to go out, I could easily go out with my friends. Now I can't. There are things that I cannot do for obvious reasons. So some of those things start affecting you slowly because you're seeing your life is changing. You're not the person that you are. Your life is not the way that it was. And these life changes, most of the times, are the ones that affect our mental state. So it is important also to understand that some of these things are seasonal. How perspective is very important. How you look at things is very important. So for you, once you've understood this is a seasonal thing, I am not going to be in this space for a very long time, especially for someone who is expectant. 9 months is a very short time. It's a very short time. So the best thing is just embrace and love that season. Enjoy that moment. Because sometimes you find, actually not sometimes, everything that you go through, you pass it to the child. So you find probably you didn't like this pregnancy. This child grows up having some issues that they don't even know the genesis. So it is always good to embrace, just accept that pregnancy. Then this child will also, what you're passing on to the child is acceptance. So this child will grow up not having issues with acceptance and everything. And so it's not only for you, but for the child as well. Yes. All
right. So we've just talked of the mental states of a woman or a mom during pregnancy.
Yes.
And you've mentioned, let me just say, issues of self-esteem, how exactly you're feeling, and even the changes in your body as the pregnancy develops. Is there any other thing probably, and what would you say are the signs? What are some of the things that this mom will start showing for them to know that I'm not myself anymore and I now need to find help?
Okay, any other thing, as you asked, just to take you back to the statistics you've just read, depression is the major issue that pregnant women face. It's actually, out of all the mental health issues that we have, depression is the most common. We'll find cases where some will go through anxiety, and especially because, anxiety obviously because you don't know what to expect, and especially for new mothers. You don't know the experience, basically. And sometimes we find even these baby showers that we go for, they don't even help us, because you'll find someone is telling you, oh, you just expect the worst. And you see now this person is telling you based on their experience. And we are all different. Because you'll find there are people who will give birth, let me not call it normal, vaginal delivery. The people who have vaginal delivery, the people who have the cesarean section. So you see, when I'm giving you my experience, I'm giving you based on the kind of delivery that I had. And that does not mean the predicament will be the same for you. So you find someone gets out of there with all these thoughts, all these expectations, and then anxiety kicks in, because now you don't know what to expect. You're told there's this unbearable pain, and you're wondering, can I even make it? And then also, something also which we cannot hide, there's also a lot of maternal deaths that occur. So those are some of the issues that come in, and cause anxiety. But the major one is depression. Now, when we want to look at the telltale signs, depression has a way of making you withdraw. So the moment you start seeing that you're withdrawing yourself from the people around you, then there's a problem. And most of the people actually, drown in depression by withdrawing, because now you've put yourself in a cocoon. So no one knows what you're going through. No one, you cannot talk to anyone. Then this thing eats you up slowly. Before you realize you're really down. So it is very good to be social. You know, we are social beings. That is how we are wired. So it is good to always be social. When you find that you just constantly want to be alone, there is a problem. Another sign would be it's in the morning. You've woken up, you don't even feel like leaving your bed. You don't even want to draw your curtains. You just want them to remain, closed, and you just want to be alone. And you're in this space feeling unwanted. You're feeling like you're unworthy. Then you need to seek assistance. And when I talk of these signs, just like I mentioned earlier, it's not one day feeling and then actually, when you go through this for a long period of time, then now that's when there is a problem. When you wake up every day and you're feeling, I don't want to talk to anyone, I just want to be by myself, there is a problem. The moment you start comparing yourself to other people, and in a negative way, then there is a problem. That should also, you should seek help. And when I say seek help, most of the times, and even the patients that I normally talk to when we are having therapy, some people end up coming to therapists because you don't have that person that you can trust. Probably you don't want your issues out there, and you're feeling, if I talk to a family member or a friend, I might hear this story in with another audience. So most of the people think it is safer to talk to a therapist, someone who doesn't know you. So if you feel you can't talk to anyone around you, then seek for help from a professional. The point here is to seek help. And it is good that nowadays we are talking about mental health, because previously it was stigmatized. So whenever you're feeling this type of way and you're having all these signs, you feel like you cannot go out and speak about it. But I'm glad that nowadays we've started embracing mental health. And any small issue, someone would bring it up. Yeah, I'll say small because when you're going through it, you normally think that it's a small issue.
Yeah.
You're like, after all, it's just a small feeling. I'll get through it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And specifically when we are looking at maternal mental health, there are times that you feel overwhelmed. Yeah, even with your own child, and you feel like, I just don't want to be in a space where the children are, you know, on my neck, my husband is on my neck. That if this thing persists, you're slowly sliding into depression.
Yeah.
You need to seek help. Yeah.
All right. And you've put it so well. Just talking of first-time moms, let us look at maternal mental health still for a mom, but maybe a second-time mom, a third-time mom. What will be the causes? Because let me talk of now. This is a planned pregnancy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You had your first child, and now this is your second child, third or fourth child. Will the situation still be the same for even second-time moms?
Okay. We've had situations where a second time or even a third or fourth time mom going through the same issues, majorly because of probably the first experience was a terrible one. We've had people who have had very, very difficult pregnancies. So based on that, you have this fear in you, and this fear turns out into anxiety, and it becomes a mental issue because the experience you had was just out of this world. Yeah. So you are scared because you're like, am I actually going to go through the same? Some, it's also because of loss of the child, either through miscarriage or even or stillbirth, or even losing the child after giving birth. These are things that, if not dealt with, and then you find yourself in the same space again, they can easily weigh you down. And that is why I still insist it is important to always speak up and seek help.
Yeah.
Because you see, for someone who had probably a difficult pregnancy with her first pregnancy, or even someone who lost a child with the previous pregnancy, when you go through therapy or when you talk about it, you will heal.
Yeah.
So by the time you find yourself in that space again, it becomes easier because now you're not dealing with the past issue. So those are some of the reasons that would make a second, third, fourth time mom go through some of these issues. Maybe you might find also, maybe in the first pregnancy, they had support. And then now this other one, they don't have support. Maybe because of divorce or separation, probably your spouse was there to help you, now they are not. Or maybe your mom is the one who was there with you during the first phase. Now this second time, your mom is no longer there. Maybe she's for many reasons. So those are some of the issues that you might find someone who is not a first-time mom is going through, and might lead to an unstable mental state. Yes.
All right. And you've talked of spouses, just people around you that can help you probably just improve your mental health during this particular pregnancy period, before we now look at after you've given birth. What roles do now, let me say, spouses play when it comes to just stabilizing the mom's mental health?
Okay. Generally, if for any married woman, it is very important generally to have your spouse by your side. Generally, whenever you're going through anything. So for pregnancy, you need your spouse even more, because it's just like I said, it's not an easy journey. It's a very hectic journey. Of course, your spouse can never understand the extent to which the weight you're carrying is. But just the fact that he is there with you and he's showing you support, it mentally makes you feel like, I'm not walking through this journey alone. And most of the women you find going through depression, even during prenatal, during the prenatal journey, during pregnancy, is that feeling of, I am alone. No one understands me in this journey. Those thoughts are the ones that now come and build up into, they contribute now into you sliding into depression. So the fact that you have someone here who is by your side, who is ready to listen to you. And sometimes I normally tell this spouse, the husbands, just sit down and listen. Yeah, even if you're not there, be there physically. You being there physically and listening to all these things that your wife has to say really play a huge role. Yeah, you might not know, but it really plays a huge role. So this woman is here feeling like someone has given me a listening ear. I have poured out everything that was in me. So there is nothing that is eating you up inside.
So it's up to them to deal with
you. Yes, you just be there and listen. Just give your ears, because what is happening, you're actually offering this lady therapy without knowing. And that is why I have said, by the time it gets to a point where you're going to a therapist, maybe you do not have someone that you can talk to. But if you have someone that you can talk to, then there's no need of wasting, okay, let me not say wasting, but there's no need of spending that money to go to a therapist. Yet you have family and friends who you can talk to and get that, whatever is inside you, out of you. If you really feel that you need to talk to a therapist, what a therapist will do is basically try to dig in and find out the genesis of this issue. Because what we work with is basically the foundation. So once you have the foundation of the issue, then you're able to sail with this person and through the healing process. And it's not something that can happen in one sitting. It is progressive. Yes.
And of course, as we talk of the people that are close to you, your family members, again, you need to find someone that you can trust with this information that you're giving, right?
Absolutely. You just you can't just go and talk to anyone. And you see, the reason why we are insisting on someone that you trust is because for you to heal, you have to feel like you're in a safe space. Because only when you're in a safe space is when you will open up. If you have thoughts of, should I really tell them? Will they go and tell? Then you won't open up. And that means you will withhold a lot of information in you, which you could have said and that would have been used to help you. So trust is a very important thing. And even with the healing process, because if you tell someone that you don't trust, then you go and hear it elsewhere, it affects your healing. You might have gone, you might have been progressed probably to 5. It takes you back to 2 or 1. So it's not helpful at the end of the day. So it's very important for you to look for someone that you trust. Yes.
Okay, great. And now we have looked at first-time moms and these other moms as well. Let us look at the issue of planned and unplanned pregnancy, even without having the spouse in mind. Would you say probably unplanned pregnancies can also, whether you're married or you're not married, of course we have the pregnancies that will come whether I'm married or not, but I'll just find myself that I'm pregnant. Will they be a contributor to maternal mental health as well?
Unplanned pregnancy is a huge contributor to prenatal depression for various reasons. Maybe one, this is a young person who maybe is still in school and has found themselves pregnant. And you're thinking, how do I go back home and tell my parents that I am expectant? So you start going through that issue. It eats you up. So you find yourself depressed. Or maybe you don't want society, you know, how will society perceive me? So you start living in it's like you're hiding yourself. You're feeling like I can't, I'm embarrassed. So all these things lead to depression. So that is one subgroup. Another subgroup of unplanned pregnancies could be probably, and just I always give my example. My second born child had just turned a year old when I conceived my third born child. This was unplanned. I mean, this child is just a year old. Then I'm pregnant with another child. So you see, if you're not careful, this will also weigh you down, because it is not an easy journey. First of all, you're dealing with an infant, and then again, now you have to deal with pregnancy, and then also there's that, you know, how will the society perceive me? You know, people will think I've become, like they say, the rabbits.
The rats.
The rats, Do re mi fa so. So all these things contribute to that. So you end up feeling like I don't want this baby, and just to put it out there, the moment you start having feelings when you're pregnant, the moment you start having those feelings of, I don't want this baby, I want this baby out of me, it's a problem, a very huge problem, and it needs to be checked. The other subgroup of unplanned pregnancy could be maybe age. You're probably approaching your menopause. You stopped raising like years back. You have children who are not even teenagers, they're actually adults. They're in their 20s, and then here you are, you get pregnant. Probably you're even heading to your 50s. For very many reasons. Number one, it's a high risk kind of pregnancy, so of course that would also give you some anxiety. And then again, your body is not ready to raise another child at that age. Then there's also, you know, peer pressure. Your friends are looking at you, those ones of, hey, Sissy, we're supposed to be raising adults. You've gone back
or grandchildren.
Yes, or you even have grandchildren, or even a grandchild on the way, and now here you are, you've fallen pregnant. So those are some of the things that really eat up some women, and to an extent that they enclose themselves. You don't want to be seen out there. It's embarrassing. No one wants to have a child who will grow up with their grandchild. So unplanned pregnancies really have a huge part to play. And maybe for some, it's that time in your life. Or you might be married, yes. You might be wanting to have a child, but not at that moment. Maybe because of career. You know, there are people whose careers don't allow them to be pregnant at a certain point. So those are some of the things that really majorly contribute to depression during pregnancy.
All right, how about, you spoke of the unplanned pregnancy. Let me talk of maybe you're a teenager and you want to break the news to your parents or to your caregivers. How about this issue of, I'm pregnant, I just got pregnant, I and my spouse were not planning for this pregnancy, and now I have to break the news to my spouse that I'm pregnant.
Okay, just to touch, before I answer that, I want to touch on that bit a little bit. You find that you're in a marriage setup, you are not expecting a child, and then you fall pregnant. So we have seen cases where the man actually blames the woman, and the woman goes through this journey rejecting this child, because they're feeling probably this child is the reason why I am having issues in my marriage. This child is the reason why we are not where we wanted to be or where we had planned to be. So that is a huge problem, and it can make up this woman. Actually, even after going through the period of pregnancy and even giving birth, it makes you reject this child, even as they are growing up, because at the back of your mind, it is wired that this child is unaccepted. This child was unplanned for. So what I can say is, the moment it has already happened, because there is nothing much you can do about it, just accept and embrace the pregnancy. It doesn't matter the situation or the condition in which this child came through. And maybe, just like I told you, most of our trainings, or actually all our trainings, we base them in the word. And just to add on to that, all children come from the Lord. All children. It doesn't matter however the child came. The word says that God knew you before he put you in your mother's womb. So by the time God is putting this child in your womb, he had already pre-planned for this child. So it is always good, whenever you discover that you're pregnant, whether you had planned for it or not, embrace that pregnancy. Love that child. There is a reason why God has decided you and not the other person. And truth be told, most of the times as human beings, we like focusing on the things that we don't have and forget what we have. So you accept that child, thank the Lord for what you have, because as we speak, there are parents who are praying and fasting every other day and crying to the Lord to be blessed with a child. Yet you have been blessed, and now you want to take this blessing as if you're actually rejecting the blessing. You're telling God, I don't want. So that is just that about that. So what I would say about someone who has who is even married or unmarried, whatever the situation, if the pregnancy is unplanned, just accept it. That is the first stage in having a stable mental status. Yes.
All right. Thank you so much for that. I think we've let me say we've talked of that is maternal mental health, especially during pregnancy. So we'll be taking a very short break, and when we come back, we'll just be looking at this other percentage where the World Health Organization is talking of 13% of women worldwide and 19.8% of women, that is in developing countries, who face depression as far as maternal health is concerned. So we take a very short break. We will be coming back with Grace Moigam, who is a mental health therapist, just to understand more of mental health, that is as far as childbearing is concerned. Don't go too far.
Speaks to us, and also prayer becomes not a burden, but it's something, you know, that we enjoy even doing it in God's presence.
God still performs miracles. He's a God who does great wonders, and we need to trust Him, have faith, and not try to solve our own problems by our own ways, because sometimes we get in His way when He's trying to perform miracles for us. We are trying to help Him. But I believe that our God is still performing miracles. There are many testimonies we can give. I know even some of you can share with us your own testimonies, because God is still doing great things.
Amen. Amen.
Are you looking to grow your business? Kirk TV offers you a variety of advertising opportunities to suit your budget. Advertise with us today and reach your potential customers countrywide. For more information, email us on sales@kirktv.org or call 011 00 90 647. Kwenye makala ya jukwaa la moderator.
Tunapojiweka mbele katika mambo yote tunayofanya, huwa tumeenda kinyume na matakwa ya Mwenyezi Mungu. Hasira moja iliyokuwa na Mungu ni kuhusu watu wanaojipenda. Kazi ya Mungu inapaswa kupewa kipaumbele. Hivyo kuna uwezekano ya kwamba tukisikiza ushauri wa Mungu kwa njia inayofaa, tutakuwa sawa kwake, sababu Mungu ana rehema na anatupenda.
Jiunge na moderator wa kanisa la PCA Mchungaji Thegu Mutahi kwa mahubiri, mafunzo na ufafanuzi wa masuala ibuka nchini. Kila Jumapili ya kwanza ya kila mwezi saa 1:30 jioni. Hapa Kirk TV.
Tafakari njia zako.
John Maxwell once said, "A reader is the one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way." Simply put, readership is all about vision and influence. Join me, Robert Waihenya Goge, the Secretary General of the Presbyterian Church of East Africa, every first Monday of the month from 8 p.m. as we microscopically look at the reality, specificity, and simplicity of leadership only on Kirk TV. Specificity.
Uongozini, a show by the leader, for the leader.
Welcome back. This is Kirk in the morning, and we are looking at maternal mental health. If you're just joining us, we've looked at what exactly maternal mental health is. We've also looked at the statistics as from the World Health Organization. And we've also looked at the causes of maternal mental health, and also a little bit touched on the solution. But in this particular part, we'll just be looking further in what solutions are there as far as maternal mental health is concerned. With the expert or specialist in studio, we've just said that depression is the most mental health problem, as bit where now there is a child delivery, and we are just looking at that is from day 1 to 1 year. That's the mental health status, or the period that we are looking at. And now, even after saying that just tell us now, in this particular period, what mental health problems are we looking at, and what causes are they that can lead to unstable mental health for these moms?
Okay, just to put it out there again. Now, baby blues are those feelings that you have after delivery. They're the mixed emotions that you have because of what comes with getting a young, what comes with childbirth. Yeah. Because now you have situations where you cannot sleep at night well as you used to, because the baby wakes up. The baby is actually normally awake most part of the night. So there are so many changes that come with it. Then if you find that probably you had a cesarean section kind of delivery, there's the wound you're nursing, you're in pain, you have to take painkillers. Then you find also there are situations where there's some moms who don't have enough milk. So all these things, all these changes contribute to you feeling some type of way. Yeah. Now there is baby blues, which now you're feeling down, you're feeling all these changes are overwhelming you. And those are feelings that will go after a period of time. Yeah. Maybe about, they might last for 3 or 4 days, then now you go back to your normal state. Or maybe today you're feeling this way, the following day you're feeling better. So baby blues will always go after some time. Now, for postpartum depression, just like the pregnancy depression, they will last for between 10 to 14 days consecutively. Yeah. And that's now when you're having those feelings of you feel like you don't want to see the baby, or even something as simple as the baby crying irritates you. Yeah. So when you get to that point, then you definitely need to seek help. And just like I mentioned, unlike baby blues, which will go away by themselves, postpartum depression has to be treated. Yeah. Actually, depression in general has to be treated. And we have 2 ways of treating depression. It can either be therapy or medication, based on the intensity of the severity of the problem. Yeah. And when it comes to treatment, of course, if it's pregnancy, they will give you'll be given medication that is baby friendly. Even postpartum depression is the same thing. You will be given medication that will not affect the baby, because you see now when you're nursing, anything you consume goes to the child. It goes to the milk, of course, and then it goes to the child. Yeah. So depression in postpartum depression is not baby blues. It is important that we separate the two. Yeah. The moment you feel you're not engaging with other people, you just want to be alone, then those are depression signs. Yeah. Yeah. Depression signs are when you wake up and you're feeling, I don't want to see this baby, I don't want anything to do with this child, I don't want this life. Yeah. And like I said, there are very many contributing factors. Remember, your hormones are changing also. Your body was hosting the pregnancy hormone. Now it's changing back to default. Remember, your body has changed. Yeah. So probably there are things you used to, like I mentioned, there are things you used to put on that don't fit you anymore. If you went through CS, there's a wound you're nursing. Yeah. Yeah. So all these things, you need to embrace them. And just like I said, just like pregnancy, it's just for a certain period. you will get through it. Because the thing that makes many women to go through depression, and specifically postpartum depression, is wanting to get out of that space. There is no way you can wake up tomorrow and you're back to where you are. It takes time. And remember, you're nursing a child. The child needs you the way you are at that time. Yeah.
Okay. And now we've, of course, you've mentioned the solutions briefly. We've looked at the external solutions, that is the therapy as well as medication treatment, as you put it. But as a mom who has just given birth, how can I help myself or just use the resources around me to help me in improving my mental health?
Oh yeah, it is very important actually, and I always say, before you end up, before you think that I need therapy, there's some other activities that you can engage in, which can help. Yeah, it's not that anytime you feel, I think I'm feeling depressed, let me run to a therapy. No, there's some activities that you can take. You can we call it self-medicate. Yeah. So some of the activities is make sure you're at least physically active. Look for something that you can do. If you can't go work out, and especially at that time, it is very hard to work out. If you're, and more so when you're nursing a wound, a CS wound. So you can do something as simple as even taking a walk, which of course most of the people are normally advised. By the time you're leaving hospital, you're told, if it's a CS, you're told, please make sure that you're active. It helps even with the healing of the wound. And not just the wound only, it helps your mental state. The moment you just go out there, take a fresh break, walk, just walk around and get yourself out of that space where you're feeling, I'm overwhelmed, the baby is... Take some time out. It is very, very important. By the time you're coming back, you're mentally stable to even take care of the child. The other thing is delegate. It is very important to delegate. And sometimes you find there are mothers who do not want to do that. It is very, very important. If you can, if you have help in the house, delegate. You can, yes, you can nurse the baby, you can breastfeed the child, then hand the child over to the person who is helping you and just take a breath. To go, even if it's go and do something that you like, even if it is lying down, even if it is resting, it is very important. Remember, you have been taking care of this child the whole night. So here is morning. The child probably, even if it's washing the child, let someone else help you. Let someone help you with those small things. It is very important. Delegate, and then don't be too hard on yourself. You are also your mother's child. So it is also good to just have some me time. It is very important. By the time you're getting out of that space, you're coming back to a child when you're ready to take care of the child, when you're ready to spend time with the child, and then now you won't feel as if you're being overwhelmed, because that is the main issue that affects us. If you can't do any of these activities, also just look for something that you like. There are people probably who like baking. Go and do something in the kitchen. There are people who like singing. Just take some time off, and music is therapeutic. Just do something that you like. If it's drawing, if it's, just do an activity that you enjoy doing.
All right, great. And now we have things that probably the society do, or even the caregivers or people around us, even in the hospitals. What are some of the things that you say people do, people around this mom do, that actually contributes to this mom mental instability, and what exactly can the people around this mom do to improve her mental health? Very briefly, even as we wind up.
Okay, it's very important actually that the people around this mom need to be sensitive. Because you find sometimes, maybe I can pick an example where a mom is struggling maybe with the production of milk. Maybe their production is low, and of course it will affect the baby and all this. So they go to hospital, and this person, the medical caregiver, it is important that they understand first where the issue is coming from. dig the genesis. Like I said, the genesis is very important. The moment you know maybe she doesn't have enough milk because of 1, 2, 3 things, then handle the 1, 2, 3 things. Other than starting to tell this person, the child has lost weight, you're not feeding this child well, you're not doing this, you're not doing that, yet you don't know that this mother has been struggling with milk production. So if as a medical caregiver, you find that this child has lost weight, find out why. Yeah, before starting to attack the mother, because we assume you're not taking care of the child well. And one thing I can tell the mothers who are nursing, there is no better mom to your child than yourself. You're the one who you can be the only good mother to that child. So never let anyone make you feel as if you're not good enough for your child, because that is one of the main reasons why women go through depression. You find someone coming to visit you, and I don't mean it bad, especially the relatives or in-laws or even your own mother, and they're telling you, no, you need to do this, mtoto huwa anafanywa hivi, this is how we do it. No, this is your child. And that is why you have all that time to spend with that child, so that you can understand your child and know what your child likes, what irritates them, so that now by the time you're handling this child, you're handling them from a point of, I know who you are, I'm dealing with you how I know you. Because the moment now someone else comes and tells you, no, children are normally handled like this, I'm telling you based on my experience with my child. And even me who has 3 children, all the 3 were not the same. All the experiences were different. Different children, same mother, different experience. So it is important for you to learn your child and believe in yourself that I am giving this child the best care as their mother who knows them. Yes.
All right, great. Any other thing? Before any other thing, you mentioned of therapy as a solution. So what are some of the solutions that you give? I know that you've mentioned quite some of them, but how when you now identify or diagnose this mom with depression or anxiety, what are some of the solutions that you give them?
Okay, the solutions we give, like I mentioned, first of all, we do therapy, and not only individual therapy, we also do group therapy. And by group therapy, which has really worked wonders. By group therapy now, we are talking of events where we have mothers coming together, or not just even mothers, different people, even if it's the youth coming together, if it's teenagers, if it's, based on the audience. So we will have a group of people coming together, and we are having activities and even therapy sessions where we will talk and share in a group setup. So what it does is it helps even with the person. If we're in a group setup and I have been going through an issue, and I hear you sharing the same issue that I've been going through, and I hear you saying how you sailed through it, then I can pick up some of these tips from what you did. Or I can even know, just the fact that I am sitting in a group and I'm knowing that this issue that I'm going through, I am not the only one. Then it helps even with the healing process. It becomes manageable for you to handle it, because this issue is not unique to me. And that is what makes so many people even end up committing suicide, because you're thinking, I'm the only one going through this situation. This situation is unique to me. So therapy helps. The other thing is, when we go through therapy and find that the issue is beyond therapy, then now we transfer you to a psychiatrist or a psychologist. And just to mention, a psychiatrist is the only one who can diagnose a mental issue and treat. Like that's why I said there are only 2 kind of treatments, either therapy or medication, and it is only a psychiatrist who can
now
medicate.
put you under medication.
So we work with a group of psychologists and psychiatrists whom, when we take you through therapy and we feel that this situation cannot be dealt with by therapy only, then we hand you over to our psychiatrist. Yes.
All right. Thank you so much for that. It's been very enlightening, and I hope that you at home has also been able to learn 1 or 2 things about maternal mental health, especially if you're a mom, either pregnant or has just given birth, or even if you're planning to be pregnant. I hope that this conversation has been an eye-opener to you. And now, Grace, just your final words to mom, whether someone is pregnant, whether they want to be moms in future, just how to deal with their mental health and just to ensure that they are stable mentally, just looking at that camera.
Okay, what I can tell the moms out there, it is very important for you to put yourself first. It is not selfish, because the moment you are not mentally stable, as a mother, you cannot be able to take care of your child well. As a wife, you cannot be able to take care of your spouse. So it is very important that you put your mental health first. And then now other things come after. Because when you're mentally stable, then you're able to carry out all these things, all these roles that you have in a better way. And just to put it out there, it is very important for you not to walk any journey by yourself, whether motherhood, whether being a wife, whether being a friend. Always have people around you that you can talk to, that you can share things with. Never put things in you. Just make sure that you are okay. Whenever you find yourself in a state where you're doubting, because our bodies always speak to ourselves. Yeah. So the moment your body speaks to you and you're feeling like, I am not okay, seek help. Do not suffer alone. Speak. Yes.
Wow, what a great way to the right people to speak to. So Grace, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
And I'm so glad that you being a mom, other than being a therapist, you also share this from your own experience.
Yes.
Of course, you mentioned that it's not like a line, what happened to this mom will happen to this, but I'm very glad that you're also sharing from your own experience. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
All right, that's all we had for you as far as maternal mental health is concerned. Remember, May is a mental health awareness month, and that's why we were bringing you this show just to help moms in Kenya, in Africa, and around the world just deal with different mental health problems. From Grace Mwiga, who is a mental health therapist, we've understood that depression is the main mental health problem, of course, with others such as anxiety, but we've been able to also lay out a solution as far as these mental health problems are concerned. Thank you so much once again for tuning in. My name is Aida Muzati. I'm wishing you a blessed Monday and definitely a blessed week.
Because how?
Normally that one time.